Hello there and welcome to another mixed case selection for beer Ritz mail order. And what we've got something this week is something unique. I'm not saying that the beers are unique, but this style of beer is an absolute kind of classic of the British Isles. The style that I'm talking about is session ale. Now session ale, the idea of session ales are that they're kind of lower in alcohol. Typically they'll be between about 3.5% to 4% alcohol. And the idea is that you can, maybe go down the pub, drink 2 or 3 of them, and the concept is that they're flavourful and they're refreshing, but they're not very high in alcohol. Now this is an interesting thing. It's very British, very English. A lot of the American craft beers tend to rely on higher alcohol, more malt, more hops to balance the malt. Oh, we've got a bit of a live one here. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. More hops, more malt, but English cask ales and bottle conditioned beers, they kind of rely on that beautiful kind of balance. They're really about elegance rather than about power. I think what we better do is get stuck into this one. Durham Magus. This is clearly a little bit lively, a bit eager to get out and see us. And so session ales, so typically they're for summer drinking. This is why we're talking about session ales today. Summer drinking, the idea is that they're light, you serve them nice and cool, there's plenty of hop character there, they've got a nice bite to them, they're lovely and refreshing. So Durham Magus here, low alcohol, 3.8%. And what you get, a beautiful kind of, there's a lot of kind of tropical fruit flavour in there almost. There's tropical fruit, a little bit of melon, a little bit of mango, and then there's a citrus dryness across the top of it on the aroma there. Lovely, light, crisp, clean. These are designed to be served cool but not cold. They're meant to be refreshing. They're kind of grown up soft drinks almost. I'm not saying that you should drink them in the same way as you would drink soft drinks. They do have alcohol in them. They are for grown-ups. But the idea of these beers is that they're meant to be sociable beers. They're meant to be shared. You can sit outside if you get one of those rare evenings in the UK where the weather permits it, and we should be getting those around now. So Durham Magus there, beautiful, light, crisp and classic. The second beer we're going to try, this should have been the first beer, but the Magus was a bit keen to come out and see us. The second beer we're going to try, Mary Jane from the Ilkley Brewery, lower in alcohol, 3.5% alcohol. The hops in this are Cascade and Amarillo, 2 classic American hop varieties. So what we've got here is a little bit of a hybrid. It's the idea of big, flavourful, bright, zesty, citrusy hops, but put into an English style ale, and a golden ale there you can see. And again, just lovely. There's a kind of a suggestion of pale malt, that lovely sort of gentle, sappy character. And then on top of that, you've got those lovely, crisp, mouth-watering, zesty hops. And again, just that lovely, clean, pale malt base, although there is a little bit of crystal malt in here. But the lovely clean malt base, and then the hop character just laying on top of that. Just very light, very delicate. It's kind of going to be midway between, if you want to talk about it in terms of styles, you look at midway between perhaps a fuller bodied but pale English ale and a good quality lager. And of course, lager isn't a dirty word. We're going to come to lagers in a few weeks. But if you're a devoted ale drinker, and the thought of drinking lager on the warm summer evenings or summer weekends doesn't sit very easily with you, session ales, English session ales, beautiful, refreshing, and again, just the idea that you could have 2 or 3 of these of an evening. You're not really taking on too many units of alcohol, should that be a thing that concerns you. The third beer that we're coming to here, Saltaire Brewery Fuggles. Again, low ABV, 3.8%. We've got the hops in this are, as you can guess from the name, Fuggles is a hop variety. They use Fuggles for aroma and Goldings for bitterness in this. It's a little bit darker than the other beers, so we're expecting a little bit more malt character, maybe a little bit of toffee or caramel starting to creep in there. That's nice. It's got a slightly, these two I guess are slightly brighter and more modern style. They kind of draw on those American hops the kind of the bright citrusy characters. The Fuggled has got a much more sort of earthy, classic ale character, but at the same time, still very, very light, still very clean. It's got a little bit, you know, the darker colour there, the darker malts. There's a little bit more biscuity character in it, but again, overlaid with a really nice, crisp, clean citrus hop character. Lovely, absolutely fantastic. And so those are three of the beers that we're going to be recommending in this tasting video. What we're going to look at, the Beer Ritz website is set up quite nicely so that you can sort beers by strength and also by country. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away and look at it, and we'll set up a mixed case of beers that are, say, between 3.5% and 4% alcohol. You can mix yourself a dozen of those. I'm not going to be too prescriptive because they are all actually fantastic beers. That's it. That's the idea for this month. We've got summer seasonals, session ales. I hope you're going to choose some. I'll pick out what I think are the more interesting ones, but don't let me stop you looking and choosing some for yourself. Okay? We're just going to have a splash more of that. I'll say thanks very much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.